Hello. Hopefully the two people that were talking about builds are back. I think it was Jason and it's a trap. Hello. Right, here we go. So, this volatile parasite, when it procs, it's really good because it'll accumulate all damage and discharge an 140% viral damage AoE. But sometimes, who was this, Jason? The companion for, who was it? Was it for Loki or for Varuna? Right, for on Loki, I was using this hound. The hound setup, but this is the hound setup I use for everything. So this is, if it's a gun buffer, you're going to have reinforced bond and calculated redirection. So this would be the gun buffing hound. So I'll let you maybe screenshot that or do what you want. This will spread status effects. This will proc arcane hotshot for us, and it'll proc secondary fortifier if we have that on an arch gun or if we have it on a secondary. So this is a really good mod. So the only things that I would ever change here is if you want to make this melee focused, you would remove this and remove this. Put this here. And then I would put in, where is it? I would probably put in synth deconstruct if you needed it for your energy management. Or where was it? There was something else. Was it this? Seismic bond. Channeled. Yeah, this can be good. This can be good if you're doing a melee build and it's got channeled ability like Valkyrie's Claws or you know, Excalibur's 4. But basically, the best way to run it would be have synth deconstruct in here, and then you've got a flex slot for whatever you want. This would be the sort of the melee focused build, I would say. But typically I run it like this. Calculated redirection in here, and the reinforced bond to give us extra fire rate. And this hound, you can take in anything you really want, it'll work really well. And then over here, depending if you've got Nourish or not, either have it corrosive, heat, radiation, magnetic. But if you're not running Nourish, obviously replace this with Vicious. Then you'll have viral, radiation, heat, magnetic. And the heat on here is what will keep your arcane hotshot stacked up constantly. So obviously I have Nourish active right now, so I'm going to have corrosive, magnetic, heat and radiation. And you know, this will just help with debuffing Eximus, you know, making them fight each other. But most importantly, it's the heat we care about, because that's going to stack arcane hotshot very, very quickly. So again, this is the mods on the hound. If you want to screenshot it. And this is the setup for the hound to proc arcane hotshot from the heat on here and secondary fortifier, because when synergized perspectives works, this for some reason procs secondary fortifier for us. And another great alternative, the one that I typically use more, this is what I use in Vauban often, is this, because again Arc Coil will proc arcane hotshot for us. This is just a fantastic primer. You know, I think it's highly worth using. It'll freeze the whole room. Vicious Bond's stupid, I shouldn't have had that on there. So at the end I would put in this here, because some frames all like it. You know, this'll stack up arcane hotshot, freeze the whole room, and rad proc everybody. And the great thing about this is you get passive shield gate in here. But look at all the status effects on enemies. Lots of status effects. So when you're using some of a condition overload, it's just going to be crazy. So I'll go over this Varuna build in a minute. I want to quickly touch on this though, to just show how great this is for guns that have got condition overload built in.
The sector is under control.
Then I'll show this Varuna build.
Troops, begin optimizing the...
This is probably the most fun part when I play Vob, and Varuna is skyrocketed up to being one of the most fun frames I've ever played. So if we go in here and we show something like the Stalta with all these status effects. So let's take, for example, let's take Wisp and let's take the Stalta here. So this gun, any base damage sources, Deadhead, Serration, are going to multiply with aptitude. So instead of, 40% direct damage, it's multiplicative. So this gets really, really crazy. So if we look at this, it's a sort of priming we're going to have with the Diriga. And we'll see the sort of... Oops, don't want to do that. So we'll get these guys in here.
There's a heavy unit
we'll pause them. Now, we'll show the start of a 0 stacks, and then we'll show it with the priming and the stacks. So, there's not much stacks in these guys here. Now they're primed up. So we shoot this guys up the back here. Okay damage. Not bad damage. Now, let's look at these primed guys here. Now we'll get one stack of Deadhead and watch this damage skyrocket. What's that? Fully automatic gun. Doing 2 million damage per hit. Fully automatic gun doing 3 million damage per hit. Look how fast it fires. Now, watch this when we alt fire this gun. 20 million. 161 million. 138 million. 17 million. 103 million. So that shows you how important multiplicative CO can be. Remember, it's fully automatic, so anything's going to die with one bullet. It's fully automatic. Now, if we shoot them in the foot, watch this. They explode. And then you've got this great alt fire. Now, if you want to make it more AoE, now when Wisp goes invisible, she's got Crepuscular. So look at this. This is one of the easiest frames to take the level cap if you're starting out. Because you go invisible, you get 30% strength, you get 3x critical multiplier. We've got Arcane Hotshot, the Diriga's stacking up for us with heat here. So we're going to orange and red crit constantly. But also, look at this. Look at Wisp. Jump in the air, invisible. So, if that's not enough survivability, we cast this, they'll then all look at them. And if that's not enough, watch our health here. Right, take off invincibility. Watch our health here. Double cast this. Invincible. 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 Now watch this. We'll unpause these guys. Now let's just look at some levels of survivability we've got here if you're going to go into level cap with Wisp. So look, they all see us, yeah. They're rad prop, they're going to fight each other. Double cast that, invincible. Oop, bad example there. Get back up. Now, we can't just jump in the air. Now look at this. The levels of survivability we've got with just jumping in the air. Now look at this. They're all rad prop, you can just jump in there and they're pretty much okay. Then when they do see you, these machine guns are nasty, they can kill you very quickly. Double cast, and we're okay. Double cast, we're alright. And then we jump in there, Guardian prop there and Diriga. So the levels of survivability is nuts then. You factor in our 3 You blind the whole room. You got a gun that's going to do millions of damage on a headshot, so let's after one. Go invisible, get 3x critical damage. So primed up. And then this is going to bounce around and, you know, do millions of damage. And then, you know, you get in danger, you just go invisible. And a great thing about Wisp, when she's invisible, you know, if she jumps in there, she breaks her invisibility. So that's a bit annoying. But you cast this once, you don't break the invisibility. But that whole duration, you got 3x critical damage multiplier. So let's factor this in with invisibility at the same time. So we'll get these guys in, we'll pause them. So we've got our fire rate buff, we've got them primed up. Get our dead head stacked up. Let's go invisible, 3x critical damage. Now let's factor in our 3 as well, go invisible. Plus, this should bounce around and just do obscene levels of damage. So they're primed up, we've got our dead head stacks. Go invisible, cast our 3, alt fire at somebody's head. 31 million. Reach surge. $3 million. Remember, this gun's just fully automatic. But another gun, you know, a gun that I always talk about as well is this one here. Look at this. This gun here is just insane. This is the best incarnate weapon in the game. I don't care what anybody says. Corrosive magnetic heat, viral. It's going to kill everything. It's multiplicative with base damage. It charges with one hit and it bounces around the room giving overguard. So let's look at how this looks. So one hit and we're virtually fully charged. Giving overguard, it's bouncing around giving overguard. Now let's look at it with some priming. Because we don't need, you know, we don't need deadhead in this, because look at this. $3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 13 million. You're already killing a level cap Thrax with one of these bullets. So sacrifice some ridiculous damage for utility. Now look at these guys primed up. Now, take away all the survivability we've got with Wisp, and you know, let's just throw this in as well. So they see us, we jump around, they can't really do much, we're invisible, we're pretty much safe like this. They're walking about with their dick in their hands, they don't know what to do. Then we cast our that, they're interested in that, cast the 3, we're blinded, who isn't Eximus? Now they finally see us. We just gate overguard back while they're all blinded and die. You know, you just constantly shield gate that overguard back, and then when it does break, let's let it break. When it does break, double cast that. Go again. It does break, double cast that. Quickly get it back. Jump in the air. Completely safe, and then go to town again and just gate that overguard constantly, going around killing everything, get in danger, jump once in the air. It's obscene levels of survivability. Now if you take somebody that's a shield gate frame, that, like for example, let's take Saren, and we give it Angstrom for a bit of safety. I mean, let them break it, and then you don't just keep spamming it, and you've constantly got that overguard up, and then you know you get it back so quickly. It's not something you really need to worry about, because like one hit and you fully charged it again. So the Angstrom, I think, in my opinion, is the best incarnate in the game. because it's just got so much utility, so much damage. Now let's get back to this Varuna build. I got a bit sidetracked there, sorry about that. I go on tirades like this that I shouldn't. So the Varuna build here, we've got Roar in it. We've got the Mecha set. We've got Impetus, because there's so many stats, I've actually got more strength. But, you know, we've got no viral here, because we're not using viral. We're going to be using this. We're going to be using this bad boy here. Now look at this here. What is it? Every 15 seconds spits out a maggot. Disgusting. The nearest enemy, it'll attach to them. Basically, this will attach to them, it'll accumulate damage. And if it still attached them and it discharges, it'll do 140% viral damage. Now, typically the dog will kill everything by then, because there's some weird interaction with Infectious Bite and the Mecha set, which just goes absolutely crazy. The damage skyrockets. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on here. So, you know, if we go over here and we give her the Paris, now our dog is going to inherit this status chance down here. 0.79% status chance and the crit. So look at what this dog now becomes. Under 3%, 9.6 critical multiplier, 0.13% status chance. Just brutal. And there's some weird interaction here with the Mecha set. You'll see it in a second. So where do we get our viral from? I got very lucky and rolled this with a viral ribbon. So this will now spread all across the room. Viral, gas, electric, magnetic. So let's have a look at this. And now the dog's got great crit and status. Well, let's look at the dog alone. Some status effects. Won't use any melees. So that's that alone. You know, this will go up to level cap, just that alone. But we're looking out for this little maggot. Now, where is it? There it is. See the little maggot? Now, the dog's nuked again before the maggot got his chance to. So maybe we'll get the guys for the Overguard in to show you what this maggot can do. Usually the dog kills first before the maggot gets the chance to, though. Here it is, it's down here, look. So when we see little viral numbers, that means it's attached to somebody. There we go. See that big purple numbers before the dog done its discharge? That was that maggot going off. So we've got three forms of AoE nuking here. We've got the Mecha set, we've got the dog, and we've got Varuna. Oh, sorry, we've got melee influence too. So let's put it all together. Jump on a mission in a sec. So we've got a road active now, we've got infinite energy. Stay invisible, jump in this guy here. Just insane. And it's just going to do that room wide. You're right, they do need to be reworked. This maggot doesn't latch on as good as it should be. $17 million. 17 million lingering status, and we've got gas everywhere too. Gas, electric, viral, magnetic. Usually the acolytes spawn into this gas and just die straight away, so that's quite funny. And look at this weird interaction. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Right, we've got the Tesla bank augment on this here. Mixed with the Crucible, blah blah blah. You can see where we're going with this. Right, let's take something that can rad proc the whole room. What can we take? We could take the Hound. Wait till you see this. Something weird's going on here. Now, I'm not going to activate this fully, I'm just going to tap it, watch. See that? It's cascading damage. Did you see it going off? So, again, I'm just going to tap it. it cascaded and it keeps going and going and going and going. Don't know what's going on with that, but there's something funny going on there. It should only nuke crazy when I continue to cast the 4. We just attack, then deactivate it. Quite peculiar. I had another idea of playing Bobbin this way like that. So if we was to take him like this, and where was it? This would be the normal build. So we would have. Oops. Oh, this is the Breach Surge one. Let's have a look at this again. This is quite funny. Where is it? So we're invisible with Robin. It's the Breach Surge build. We drop Hot Shot. Crepuscular. Drop that. We put Multi-Augmented. And this can be quite funny. Oh, hurry up, I'm invisible. There we go. Look at the Breach Surges. Now, if we fit back in the Scourge as well, we can make it. We can make this headshot. That's another little trick you can do with Warframe. Is make it headshot with Scourge. So, if I remember right, yeah, that Null Star is a great augment. Really, really good. So we throw in this, right? Now everything will head. Now our flechette will headshot. And the Breach Surge already headshots. You know, we could also use this. Instead of going invisible, I'll go back to Hot Shot and just do it the old-fashioned, sort of similar way, but we're using Breach Surge. But the Hound can be a bit of a nightmare, so I've at level cap too. I agree with that. What did I have in my one? sometimes I had pack leader in it, but it seemed to be alright here with Vauban. It seemed to survive alright, that run I done. So what's this? Is this a Tesla bank, Vauban? Yeah, it is. This is the best way to play him, in my opinion. No, you can use the Scourge too if you want to go pure ability route, because you can make everything headshot like this. If you throw this down first, then lift them with a 4, then cast the 3, the 2, now it'll headshot only, and throw down your Tesla bank. As soon as one of these discharge, I forgot to add the nourish, and look at that damage. Then if you take something like this, which is actually better, take the boss assist, look at this. The minute that we find somebody that's got Tesla bank attached to them, they're buggered. So, where's the Tesla bank? Somebody close at the front, watch this. Get an armor strip, which you'll naturally have. And one headshot should kill everything. Yeah. Healing the turn's good, yeah. I'll show you a silly meme build here I made. Look at this. Just an immortal chroma. This is really silly, but it works, and if you get to level cap, there's a video of it. So have a look at this. This is actually some of the best synergy I think I've ever created. I think it was the first to upload this to. I didn't see anybody else talk about this. So, there's Chroma, no helmet. Sorry, Chroma. Here's Grendel, no helmet. Look at this. So, how is he surviving here? Yeah, I was saying that earlier, Spooner, how good Chroma is, but the problem, I love Chroma, but the problem with Chroma is he's got one good ability. I suppose his 2's quite good, but it's the 2 and the 3. But look at this, how is he surviving here? How is he's got stats immunity, but how is he regenerating the health without dying? Well, this is the immortal testicle Grendel. Look at this. He's regenerating how much health every second? 652. How much does persistence need? 500. So here's the immortal testicle Grendel. You ready for this? So let's see how he's gonna survive this. Alright, nourishment. One at the ball. Watch this. If they don't all die already. You use this build that I made. Look at the health. Stay in the ball, stay immortal, nuke everything. You can literally just stay in the ball indefinitely. So we'll get this up. Yeah, it works really good, does it? Surprisingly, you'd think it'd be stupid, but it works really good. So look at this. Get the guys in us. Get our heart and nourishment. Going to the ball. Look at this. Then if you ever do get dangerously low, cast Nourish and get full health again. And then just nuke them, because all enemies scale. The damage of Grendel's 4 scales off of the enemies in your stomach. So if you've got level cap enemies in your stomach, you're going to do that sort of level of damage. So you just hop out your ball when you want, kill a Thrax, kill the ghost, go back in your ball, go room to room, and you're immortal. Well, I really appreciate that, Case, and I don't think, if I was to talk about anybody that I think's fantastic on YouTube, I would advise everybody to go and look at Moog, M-O-U-G, and everybody to go and look at Agall, A-G-A-L-L. He's the guy that plays Excalibur, and he's the one that made me really love Excalibur. Agall. He's the best person I've ever seen play Excalibur, and he's got a following of around about 5,000. I think he deserves a lot more, though. So this you can take in anything, you're not going to die. I didn't die at all at level cap with this. And then it's the same with Nidus, if you've got Nidus like this. There was a build for this Grendel, I showed it at level cap as well, it's on my page if anybody wants to screenshot it, that's it. You just want to stack as much health as to be fair, we don't even need that much health, because the minute you go in the ball, you're immortal. You could drop that, but I intended to have this so you could jump out the ball when you wanted to. And kill a trap, quickly kill the ghost, and just go back into the ball and roll room to room, and then safely stay in the ball and kill if you had to, and then jump out the ball, because you got rage, so you're never not going to have enough. You're going to have constant full health all the time. Who else did I play around with these sort of yeah, it would be great. Then you would never have any sort of issues, to be fair, would you? And the great thing about it is Nourish, watch this, Nourish just gives you full health. So if your ball ever does lose all its health, watch this. Like we go right down, we go right down, we go right down, we go right down. You cast Nourish once, go into your ball, status immune, and fully healed. Yeah, so as long as you've got, let's say you got 1,500 health, this build would work. I don't think you would have any issues surviving, even at 1,500 health. Have a look at this weird, stupid build here. I wouldn't recommend taking this to level cap, but have a look at it. Now, usually we want to survive and gate with, using shields to gate. But if we, where was it? Is it this one I'm thinking of? Where was it? Was it this one? Or am I going off my head? Or was it that one? It was the Rouse and Plunder, wasn't it? Let me see if I'm going crazy or if I'm... Definitely wasn't that. I had this set up to health gate as well. Bear with me 2 seconds. Right, it was something to do with, take this off and put, where is it? This triple augments here. So watch this, we can now health gate with this. And watch this. We can set this up right and not look like a fool and get it done right. One there, I get a tile. Look at that, full health anytime we cast our 3. So we do it like this. Get our tidal immunity, get our that up. Cast this. Cast this 3 to get full health back whenever we need it. And we should be okay. So let's get a normal grouping to kind of show how this will work. Just before I go ham and fight all that crazy guys. Everything died too quick. I know. Get these guys out. Get this out here and then we can show it. Maybe it won't die. They won't all die so quickly. So, look at that. We get full health by casting the 3 whenever we need to. So we can kind of half health gate like this. And the Panzer as well is giving us health. And we got Gloom as well. That was it. I'm an idiot. I forgot that we had Gloom in this build. So let's look at this. Then our panic button can be the 3 to instantly full heal. Yeah, Gloom's good in her too. So the way I would try to make my Chroma health tank level cap, which I couldn't really do it well, my friend Aqua did. It was this, where was it? It was relying on... Oh, why is that there? Relying on... Where is it? Is it Physique? I think it was Physique, Arcane Persistence Battery, Guardian Armor to get health. I put Gloom on this, so pretend I didn't have Gloom, pretend I had Nourish. And what we were doing was that, and then this. So that would occasionally give us health, that there, because 12% over 4 seconds is quite a lot. Or doing this. Or that was working too. So as long as we killed fast enough, we were getting enough health back that we could survive, basically. Now as you can see, the health dips down and then it goes back up again, but it was really dicey at level cap. Really, really dicey. That's why I implemented Gloom afterwards, you know, because it was getting a bit tricky at level cap. You had to constantly keep killing or you were buggered. So who else could I yap some crap about? Look at Frost. How do you play Frost? Now you play Frost, you play him with 40% strength. Why do you play him at 40% strength? Because this 2 mods here allow you to full armor strip. So why would we sacrifice all this range to have frost? You know, why would we sacrifice all that range just to armor strip when we can armor strip at 40% strength? So let's look at this. So Arcane Ice Storm. So spawn these guys in here, and then look, we'll get some cold on them through the Diriga, who can cold proc the whole room with coolant leak. And look at this. How much energy do you think we're going to have here? I'll tell you how much we'll have. We'll have about 1,300 energy at all times with this frost. So let's have a look at it. So we've got all this range, we've got all this utility, and let's look at all this energy we're going to have. Oh, we dropped down again. It's per people frozen, so we can get up to about 1,300% energy. So look at us, we're almost at how much? 800 now. So if we spawn in the little guys, this will show a prime example of what I'm meaning. Get these guys in here, and we'll turn on invincibility just to show my point. Unpause them. Now, once they get all their friends in, we'll freeze the whole room. They got their friends in now. Look at energy, 934 energy frost that full strips the whole room with massive range. This is the way you play frost. So that's the best way to do it, I'd say, because you got passive energy here, you got energy there, and you know, I've took this to level cap many times, and it's been very comfortable. Then you got your trusty Angstrom if you need to overguard gate, because the levels of his isn't cutting it at that level cap sometimes. Who else can we talk about here that's brilliant? Stynax. Why do you want to put overguard in Stynax? You don't want to put overguard in Stynax. What you want to do is these two beautiful augments here, and have insane shield regen on kills. So this here is going to give you shield on kills, so like 99. Now you can drop it to catalyze in shields if you want. That's what I do at level cap. But I'm going to keep it at these two here and see if I can show my point. So we'll spawn some guys in, we'll pause them at first. We'll get all our things active. So why would we use this? We would use that. We would get insane energy regen, look at it. Then we could grab everybody together. We could hit them with that and just wipe a lot of them out with insane damage buffs. Look at that. And then, you know, if we spawn these guys in now, and let's look at them when they break our shields. See how long it takes us to get shields back fully. Oh shit, we're paused. So take off our invincibility now and do it again. So let's see if we can get our shields back quick enough to survive here. Look at that. So why would we waste our time in the air getting that overguard? The overguard's broken. Oh shit, we need the overguard. Overguard's broken. Oh shit, we need the overguard. The overguard's broken. See my point? Why I'm saying ignore that shit augment. Put the other two good augments in and do it this way. Now if you want it to be even easier, you drop this and you put in, where is it? Put in this, and now we've only got to get 175 shields back. So we've got red crits because we've got Diriga or we're using Hound. So let's take the Hound. So it's going to keep our hot shots stacked indefinitely. So, you know, then we've got this, something that's going to chain and kill very easily to get that shields back to keep us very safe. decent range, decent everything, kind of. Passive shield regen, great critical damage, great grouping, because when you ragdoll somebody like we do with Robin, they can't hurt us. So, you know, let's look at this. Look at these guys. They can hurt us, yeah? They can all hurt us right now. Yeah, we can die very easily like this. But the minute we do that, can't hurt us. So it's another layer of survivability. You know what I mean? If you've got a grouping ability like that, it's complete survivability. And we have infinite energy with this. So, you know, we're pretty much golden. So let's see. We'll let them break our shields. What's this? Break our shields. Full shields right back again. So you're running around constantly keeping your shields up like this. And then, again, what was I just talking about? Why use his fourth ability to get overguard when we can just pull this out and get overguard? And look at its damage. We can group them up, strip them, and then hit them with a multiplicative CO gun like this. You know, so why would we bother using that augment when it just breaks so quickly? So there we go, we've got these guys in. We're going to break our shields quickly, keep this buff active, keep that buff active, strip them, get overguard, and then if the overguard breaks, we get one kill, and after that one kill's done, we've got full shields back. So you've got double insulation layer of survivability here. And you get to use that 2 great augments as well. With the strip. Infinite energy too, might I add. Get the grouping in, hit them with the second ability, look at the damage. So we should survive very easily like that. You know, you could go another way. You could use a melee as well, and then you're going to have constant shields that way too. Keep this active up. Group them all up. Go on melee. Look at that. Get all your shields back that way too. So I think that's the best way for me to play Stynax. Maybe it doesn't work for you, but I think it's worth trying. Bear with me, I'll be back in 2 seconds. It's the same with when I play Nova. You know, Nova has got great damage reduction issue. So when I play Nova here, I've got one build to just do everything. You know, see, I never usually have more than one build. So why has my Nova got 74 shields? I'll show you why my Nova has 74 shields, because with this and that, you're going to get the shield up to a respectable level of shield that you can probably just tank in Steel Path. Alexa! Don't know about you guys, Alexas, but my one never listens to me. So with this here, you know, we've got Catalyzing Shields, Brief Respite, Augur Secrets. Obviously, if you were just playing normal Steel Path, of course you could go that way. But I like it set up like this because by the time I get to high levels where damage reduction doesn't matter, you can just shield gate. So let me see if I can show an example of this without looking like an idiot and failing. So we'll pause these guys. Get an Auric battle group in. So what have we got? We've got 74 shields, caster 1, cast these. Now we've got up to what? 300 shield, you know. Keep casting abilities, getting our shields up. So So now we've got a 456 shield with adaptation built into it for Steel Path without us having to change any mods. So we'll get these guys in again. Unpause them. We've got the Overguard. No. If we even lose the Overguard, it's the problem. So let's get in some heavy gunners. We've got hotshot stacked constantly as well, look, which is just ludicrous. So maybe we should get rid of the insanely good companion, get the guy out instead. So if we try and get rid of our shields, or cast this, you know, this is going to CC the room so much that we probably won't even take damage really. We've got 410 shield that will, pointless to even show it's so strong here. But you know, the point I'm trying to convey is this 549 shield or whatever it is going to be enough to tank a few hits in Steel Pass. That by the time it breaks, you just cast one again, and you know you've got it back. And then this way, I don't ever have to change mods for when I go into higher level content. So if we put it out like this, and if we try and lose our Overguard here, our shield is going to break so quick anyway that, you know, damage reduction won't be enough to cut it. So, you know, if we already had a small shield, we would have been surviving this enough with just casting the odd few abilities. And then when it does finally get to crunch time, we can just gate that catalyzing shield's level back. Here we can't really though, because, you know, if it breaks, we still need to gate back, what is it, like 1,000 shield. So if I do it this way and see if I can convey my point. Where is it? It works a lot better in mission when you're not fighting crazy strong guys like this. So you see, like, we can just gate that back enough that, you know, we're building the shield up, and then when it comes to crunch time, we just cast the one, if you can catch my drift. That when it comes to the crunch time, we can't just gate if we need to. Run out of energy there.
Thanks for having my back.
So if we do something like this, build it up to what it would be typically in a mission. So now, you know, we've got a decent sized shield now. And, you know, if we do need to gate it back, we can just gate the level back now that we've got the DR that we need, and we've got a decent sized shield. You see what I mean? And then when it does come to crunch time, and it does break, we just cast it once and we should have enough shields back, and we'll run out of energy again. But I think these are conveying the point that I'm getting. And of course, we've all got our trusty this. So we've got double layers of Overguard typically, that we can just do this. That we don't even need to really worry about shield gating. Why is this not evolving? There we go. That we can just go around and red crit evident deaths, and if it does break, we cast our one once, and we've got no survivability issues. And Bob's your uncle, Barney's your aunt. As you can see, that's why, you know, you don't need a big shield and level cap, because it's just harder for you to gate that back. But in my opinion, Nova is the best frame in the game. She's not my favourite, I've said it multiple times. Nova, to me, is the best frame in the game because, you know, she can do it all. Speed up, slow down missions, she can nuke with that. She can damage reduction, she can slow the enemies down. She can double their damage. She can have arcane hotshot up without actually needing a companion to stack it. Sorry if I ever go silent, it's me pausing this and dealing with my daughter.
Relax. I got you.
Who else is somebody we can talk about? Dargus. What an insane frame. Dargus. Half the time involved. So with this build here, you're getting that back very easily, and half the time you're immortal. You know, look at this, 25 seconds invulnerable, and then cooldown reduction, 1 second. So, you know, you come out of an immortal time, and you've got to cool it down. And how do you do that? You just get kills with Doom. And then we do this very easily. So Doom gives us insane critical damage. You know, sorry, Grave Spirit gives us insane critical damage. And Doom gives us true damage, and it spreads around. So then we've got the insane critical chance here. We've got the shield gating built in. And then for half the mission, literally half of any mission you play, you're invulnerable. So let's look at how this works. This is an insane frame to get to level cap, and you know, it's got built-in viral, so we can abuse roar. So we'll take our hound, and then we'll showcase just how good this is. We'll take the Braton, take our trusty Overguard gating for extra survivability, and let's take, you know, let's show a glaive, because the glaive has some crazy interaction with Doom. We'll show the interaction with Doom first. So spawn these guys, and we'll take all the invulnerability, and we'll show the Doom. So we'll get the roar active, because you'd always have roar. Show that's going to spread the Doom around. See the purple number spreading? That's the Doom. Then we throw this out, and look at that after. Look at that, a couple of million of Doom spreading afterwards. See that million proc? Purple numbers. So throwing a glaive with Dargus is insane. So, you know, you could run her as a melee frame, you could run her as a gun buffer frame, but you know, look at this. One fucking throw. So we'll go into our immortal period. Look at that, we've got greyed out health, now we do 100% more critical damage. Completely immortal. Look at that. Just insane. Spreading Doom constantly. We can kill with guns. We've got the red crits because of the hound. Or we can, you know, throw a melee and just nuke everything. Now we're awaiting our cooldown. This is when we are vulnerable, yeah? Now how do we negate that vulnerability? Well, any ability is going to be enough to give us a shield gate. We've got a 19-second cooldown. So we need to kill people with Doom. Once we get a few kills like that, we can chain it again and we're immortal. So that's us just chaining immortalities back to back. Because any kills we get, cool it down, and we're just cooling it down constantly. And if you can't cool it down, one cast of this, which you naturally are going to be doing to spread your Doom, the 1 and the 2, you're going to be naturally casting that to spread your Doom. It's going to be enough to let you shield gate. So let's look at the shield gating levels of it. So now we're in, so look, now we're shield gating. You know what I mean? Obviously I'm tanking 20 Xmas. You get the point. You know, you're just going to be able to shield gate that damage enough that you're going to have enough to just shield gate that damage, throw this out, and you're back into your immortality phase again. Just an absolutely bonkers frame. It kind of got forgotten about because around about the time she came out, we've had all these other crazy frames coming out. So we're spreading our Doom, one kill is spreading it to everybody else. And then we negate our cooldown by just spreading a bit of Doom around and getting a few kills with the glaive, And look at that. He's dead, but you know, now we're in our cooldown, so it's a bit of a doom. Throw this out. We go back into our mortal phase. Just a bonkers frame. So for anybody interested, this is the way I set it up. You'll probably start to notice a pattern. A lot of the time I use hot shot and a frame and a companion that can buff that up. Another crazy one is Oberon with the Tesla Bank Augment. Look at the sort of nuking levels we have now with Oberon. So here's Oberon, he can nuke with his one. We all know that. Here's Oberon with the Tesla Nervos Augment. So that's going to do an explosion on death too. So this is double explosions. Have a look at this. So get the Tesla Nervos out. Armor strip. And look at that explosions. Armor strip. And then you can run around with your guns killing at the same time, but just insane levels of damage. And we've finally got an immortal caster Oberon. Pull the armor strip off them, and then, you know, if you really wanted, you can pull a dog out that'll make you immortal. And then you can run around immortal, killing everything. Well, the dog does it for you too, because, you know, dog can inherit our status chance in the Paris. So now look at the dog's got 249% status, 11x critical damage, 146% critical chance. So, and the dog will get the immortal passive from Oberon too when it picks up health orb. Look at it, see the dog's got a grayed out health. So we do this, we strip armor, Tesla Nervos, we hit this guy here. Yeah, good idea, Protea and Gaia. I put on Gaia too. I thought Protea would be a good one, Jason. Thought Protea would definitely do well with it. Well, armor strip these dudes, throw down Tesla Nervos, and if the dog doesn't kill them, we hit the Tesla Nervos target with our one, and it's good night Vienna. All while being invisible as well most of the time. And the dog's immortal too, because look, he's got that 3 little passive thing next to him. Just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Immortal, invisible Oberon. Now Garuda is just a frame that I slept on for the longest amount of time. Infinite energy, infinite damage, while being invisible. It's just insane. So if we do this, look at this. Pause it. Look at our energy and our health. Look at this. Let's get rid of all our health. Let's get it all back. Let's get rid of all our energy. And then let's get it all back by sacrificing health. Just an insane synergy. Constant energy and health regen. So let's get these guys in here, and let's look at the sort of levels of damage Garuda can do. But let's put slash on everybody. We'll shield gate instantly with that as well. And look, we've got invulnerable times too. Look at that damage. So if we unpause her, we get a bit of invulnerable when we jump on enemies, and we can force everything to slash with our 4. Jumping in this guy's here, and then look at that, millions of damage. It was one of the easiest level cap runs I've ever had. Just insane. So where was that Varuna? Let's take this Varuna build out. The one I was talking about earlier. The Varuna that has where is it? The Dual Vitus. And what we would take with it? Let's take the this, and we'll just show how fucking crazy this Varuna is. I don't know if you tried this Varuna, Jason. Maybe you've already tried it. I made an Amber video, but I got a lot of stick in it. People didn't like it. People kept on saying Amber is rubbish. Why play Amber when you can play? People kept on saying to me, why play Amber when you can play Temple or Uriel? And it's true, but Amber can't. They can't put 228% non-mixing heat on all melee weapons and all primary weapons, and stack hot shot really, really easily like Amber can, and give herself overguard. This weapon platform Amber is insane. Let me quickly show this, and I'm going to jump in a mission with the Varuna. So let's give Amber this. Let's give Amber this shotgun here. The Varuna one, it can be quite easily achieved. I'll show a way of doing it quite easily without having to rely on the companion as much. I've got a spare mecha set that can give you. If you've got any dog for Varuna, any of these dogs, it'll work. Did you try the Amber build I made? Yeah, I don't know why people didn't like this Amber. So it really worked well, with all the synergies that, you do that, you imbue that, then look at the heat damage you've got. You've got instant overguard, instant stack and hot shot. Just insane levels of heat damage on every enemy in the game, and pretty much infinite energy. So, and the way that this overguard gates is really well. Let's look at the way it overguard gates. As long as you're, it's actively gaining overguard as they burn. And now we've got, how much heat damage we've got now? 267, it can go up to 300% heat. And one spam of that should give you enough to overguard gate. That was 1,000,000 heat proc there, and then if you pull out the Angstrom, or any weapon that can give you overguard, it's really easy to survive. But let's take this Varuna. Where is it? The main things with this Varuna is you want this augment, strength and decent range, mecha mod, impetus, augmented. I suppose this can be dropped and this can be dropped. You can put in whatever you want there, maybe attack speed, melee damage, but it's mostly the mecha set, Freya Dinar, and then you could probably just use the normal versions of these if you had to. Equilibrium and Roar. And this will be the dog we use. Because this is going to do crazy nuking, and this is going to do crazy nuking with the mecha set. And the stats of this is quite good too. That's the correct stats now. So yeah, very good stats. Nice. So let's go on a mission and show just the sheer damage this thing does. This is some of the most fun and the easiest level caps I've ever done with Varuna. I don't know if they're the easiest of them all compared to Revenant, but this was definitely some of the most fun and some of the most crazy damage I've ever had, and the easiest time to
Each
survive.
enemy is more powerful than before. Only with true mastery of the Tenno arsenal will you succeed.
So we'll get our energy up, and then once the balls roll in, this is a complete cakewalk to survive.
Is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
And now we've got our roll up this, now we can go invisible. Now we start to keep status effects on and look at this nuking level. Now we'll get the dog charged up too. My aim's off. Fucking hell, what is up with my aim? There we go. Right, now the dog's going to be doing his thing. Nope. Went down as I was transforming the fucking Paris. Now they're in trouble. Everything just melts and dies so easily. Look at that.
Tenno, if you have a necromech, this would be an excellent place to deploy it.
As you can see, it just melts everything. And you know, when you're in somewhere like Cascade and you've got a viral gas electric magnetic, it just wipes everything else out. And it's guaranteed slash on the first attack you do. So the minute you hit that trap, they die, and it just spreads to everyone and kills everything. And you know, the gas, the more enemies that are in the gas clouds, the more damage it does. Watch this. If we can get Torment to come into this gas cloud, he'll die. So he's dead. He's dead already. He just walks into the gas cloud and he's dead. So you want to hit the guy that's marked, the bright coloured guy. And you can do this with Tesla Bank as well. If you do it with Tesla Bank, it's pretty crazy. But the Roar build just surpasses it with the sheer amount of damage from status effects. This is the best way to play Varuna. Like you see, the Arclight just walks in the gas cloud and dies.
Fighters will soon attack.
They're dying miles away from the gas everywhere.
They know you're here. Prepare for sentient fighters.
You can just jump on them with the status effects again and again if you want to, then hit them. You know, like this. And then look at that.
The deeper I can search.
I say we just hit them once, melee, then jump to the next person.
Void has summoned a new presence and it craves.
But you know, if you get lucky and you put like 10 heat, 10 slash in them, that's when you see the massive AoEs. So yeah, this is a really fun way to play Varuna. And look, half the room, there we go, look at that, half the people were frozen solid. Yeah, they just fucking melted straight away. So it's an extremely fun build. And you're very safe because any potential time you're seen, you just instantly gate it back because you go invisible again straight away. And you know, it's very, look at that up there, everybody dead. So it's very rare that you ever really take damage in this build. And then once multi-augmented stacked up, it's brutal. This and Excalibur have to be my probably favourite melee builds in the game. Although I do really like Baruch and I do really like Atlas. I think these two are the most fun and easiest to achieve. It's super simple, it's just a case of you activate your roar, you activate your 3 once, and then 3 stays up indefinitely, and you just keep an eye on your roar, and then it's a case of cast them 1, going invisible, cast 4 on somebody, then if they don't explode, hit them once. So I'm invisible, I cast 4 on him, he's dead. So the gameplay loop is you cast your 3, cast your roar, you cast 2, and you cast 1 to go back invisible after hitting them. So you know it's very small chance of them actually hitting you. We hit them, then we cast 1 again, then we cast 2, then we hit them, then we cast 1 again, then we cast 2, then we hit them, then we cast 1 again. And energy is not an issue because, you know, every melee kill generates equilibrium orbs for us. And you can see the more enemies spawn, the more gas damage we do, and in turn the more damage we do, and you know, it just a never-ending chain of synergy. It's really nice. So we'll get one more Acolyte to spawn in, then we'll get out of here. Keeping our roar active. Here's Anx. Let's see if he'll die from the gas clouds. Yeah, he's dying from the gas clouds that he's spawned into. So that's the sort of loop. That's what you're dealing with Varuna. She's just absolutely insane. So I have a full build of this exact setup here on my page. It's called Varuna 2.0. I think that's what I called it. There's one that's got more views that was called something like explaining Varuna the best way I can. But I would just go with the 2.0 video if anybody wants to replicate what they're seeing here. But I'll jump out of this mission and I'll quickly showcase the mods, and then, you know, if somebody sees that and screenshots it, you can replicate it easily enough. But the main thing is the stat stick from the Paris, the mecha set, and then, you know, a good weapon to spread stuff. And the Dual Viscus has got its nice passive of attack speed and movement speed. And then, you know, if you can fit viral, you don't need to worry about any crit chance and crit damage when you're playing Varuna, because she's naturally going to give everything yellow to orange crits when she goes invisible. So we'll show that quickly. So with Varuna's abilities here, look at this. So we've got Varuna's... So we've got Varuna's here. Look at this. We're going to get... sorry, where is it? It is... Am I tripping? Here we go. We're going to go invisible and we're going to get guaranteed critical damage 2.78, status chance 100%, critical chance 100%. So that's going to be added on top of, you know, this. So here, we what have we got here? We've got galvanized steel. You really don't need that. You can if you want. I put it in because I'm using this for other frames as well. Galvanized steel, galvanized reflex, they keep that up constantly. Condition overload naturally, because think of all the status effects we're putting on every enemy, and on top of all of this, it's a huge increase of damage there. We've got blood rush for even more critical chance, so she'll be red critting. You know, then we've got the viral ribbon. This is what, you know, if I didn't have this viral ribbon, what would I replace? I would probably replace Weeping Wounds and maybe Magnetic Rush. You know, so say I didn't have that ribbon, I would go something like this. I would maybe have Electric Gas and then have the viral put in normally, you know, because we're wanting to put viral on all the enemies, because all that status effects we're going to have on everyone is going to just, you know, scale up so well. You know, my Varuna's got purple shards, so we really, really don't need to have that there if you don't want it either. But I just like the thought of having the magnetic for the high levels, you know, against the Xmas. And then, you know, the magnetic, and then this ribbon here that's built in viral and a little bit extra critical damage. So this, you know, this is crazy. Look at that. We've got 8.5 critical damage. And then once Varuna goes insane, once Varuna goes invisible, you know, it's going to scale up even more. And, you know, we're going to have basically 12x combo constantly, because if we look over here, we've got our this here. So this is why the Hound is giving me overguard sometimes, because we've got it here, but we've also got on our secondary. But let's pretend we didn't have a secondary with Fortifier. Because we have this arch gun in the background, we've got this on it here. So this is going to be active all the time. So we're constantly getting 7.5 seconds combo duration. And then we're constantly getting a chance of Fortifier if we use a Hound. Typically though, if you don't want to use a gun with... typically, if you have a secondary that's already got Fortifier on it, you can swap this out for... What the hell is it? It's secondary dexterity. So now we get, you know, double the combo duration. So that makes it even better for a Varuna build, you know? And then, you know, over here in the dog, this is the dog's mods. So I would say screenshot this. Your dog's going to be immortal because you're constantly melee attacking. Mecha set. All the good stuff. Status effects, spreading. Volatile Parasite. I just got this. This really isn't needed. If you don't have that there, I would say swap that for that if you're going into Cascade, because it'll then mean your dog can kill the Srax for you. But if you don't want to swap it for that, you could maybe put in something like... probably put in Synth Deconstruct or something. 2 seconds, go. Or try this. Two seconds, guys. See, this can be good because this adds toxin damage to Bruno's melee as well. But you know, you need to run into the little. It's like a little trail it leaves of it, but I don't find it as good as the other one. I felt like my nuking potential with the other dog was good. Better, sorry. But you know, if you don't have them two dogs, don't worry about it. Take this dog here. You can use the Seneca, you could use this one, you could use this one. You know, any dog you want you can do because we're just caring about the mecha set on it. So use whatever dog you want with the same sort of setup. The mecha set, contagious bond, momentous bond. The sort of ones that really matter are these ones here. This, this, this. This is nice. This, and this. You know, that's the ones that are going to matter. The bottom row, and I would say these top three as well. But you know, you can get them relatively easy for all the other dogs. Now, I'm going to have to go and make my little girl some supper, but it's been a pleasure. I thank you very much, Jason, for all your kind words, and I hope to see you again. Do you want to say bye, Willow?
Yeah. Bye.
And you know, anybody that plays this game and watches any of these streams, if there's anything I can help you with, feel free to leave a comment. You know, if there's anything you need in game, this is my name here. Just Zero Assassin 92. Don't need all that crap at the end. You know, if there's anything you see that I have that you need that I've maybe got plural of, feel free and I'll give you whatever you need if I've got spare for this Varuna build. What did I have here? Is that Tile Forge? No, I need to get some Tile Forge for Varuna. But anyway, thank you for your kind words, Jason, and thank you for whoever else has been watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.